I did a number of commercials, yeah, and that was probably during those. It may have been before, probably before and after that. I did some commercials, and a lot of that came about again from my Clokey Productions connections. I met people at Clokey's that, like I said, had similar interests, and these people all now have stacks of Academy Awards. Dennis Muren, who's got 8, I think. Ken Ralston, who Dennis Muren is at ILM, and Ken Ralston used to be at ILM. He runs Sony ImageWorks. Phil Tippett has his own studio that does stuff. All of these people were all kids at the same time, all had the same kind of influences and the same fascination with this kind of work, and we became fast friends, as a teenager. And these people all worked also at a place called Cascade, which did the Pillsbury Doughboy, and they did a lot of commercials with visual effects involved. And whenever there was some makeup related thing, I would usually get called. Also, I did some stop motion. I made Pillsbury Doughboy puppets for them, and some replacement animation things for some other commercial. And so it was through this kind of connection that actually happened from Clokey's that I got a lot of that commercial work. One that I particularly remember, I don't know why, was for Vic Sinex. They wanted this blockhead guy. They wanted a guy with this square block for a head and this kind of flat face. It's kind of like, my head's all blocked up and so on and so forth. And I did this makeup on this actor named Greg Malavy. I remember. I'm surprised I remember these names. This weird blockhead makeup, which was a little tricky at the time, But another one that really I couldn't believe was made was a Clearasil commercial, and they approached me about it, and they sent me the little storyboards, and it was kind of like, your face is kind of like a sponge, and it's full of pits and so on, and you can wring out a sponge, and they wanted the person to have a sponge face, peel it off and wring out all this oil, but you can't wring out your face. That's why I use Clearasil, It's like, and I always had kind of a bad complexion, and I was kind of offended by the commercial, but I said, you know what, a sponge, because they said they wanted a sea sponge looking face, and I said, this is going to be horrifying. You don't want to see a person with a sea sponge face. And I said, you know what, let me do I'll do a test on my wife at the time. I said, I'll do a test because I've got a life cast. I can do it in a couple days, and I'll show you what a sponge face is going to look like, and you're going to not want to do this commercial. So I did this test, showed it to them. They go, this is horrifying. And I said, see? They go, well, what are we going to do? And I go, write a different commercial. It's a stupid commercial anyways, It's like, no, we want to do this commercial. They said, well, what if it's just like very obviously a mask that's like if we just had a piece of sponge and we cut out a mask. Okay, do that. Fine. Well, you do it for us. I go, well, you don't need me to cut a piece of sponge out. But they ended up cutting a sponge out and cut 2 eye holes in it, and they sent me to New York and had to hire a standby makeup artist for me to put it on with a piece of double-faced tape. But it was like, I did, like I said, a lot of doughboys, a lot of things like that.